What is up, guys? We're back with another CES 2023 video, and this time we're going to be talking about ASUS and some of their cases. So at their booth, they had this massive case. I mean, this thing was super huge, the ROG Hyperion. And to start off, it has a pretty sturdy metal sort of exoskeleton. This thing sort of looks like kind of like future, like everybody knows the ROG theme, so it kind of feels that, but it's like this big super case. I believe that you can use the top as handles too.
Right, yeah, that metal like exoskeleton kind of goes around in a frame, but yeah, it goes along the top. You can use them as handles to transport this thing. Trying to lift it from the bottom is going to be pretty tough, right? But so the metal top handles definitely come into use when trying to move around this case. But like you said, this is an enormous case, right?
Yeah.
Tons of room for fans and cooling. It does support up to two 420 millimeter radiators in the front and top of the case. There's a lot of big cutouts as well to allow for good airflow on the front and up at the top of the case. You know, obviously this is designed with large builds in mind. It supports up to eATX motherboards and the latest GPUs. You know, think ROG Strix or ROG Strix like 4090.
That's like
that's what they had in there.
Yeah, that's
and
the biggest 4090
so
you can have. Yeah.
But it fits with no problem in there, right? Definitely with, like we said, enthusiasts in mind that are going to be putting these crazy builds in there. Tons of room for custom water cooling as well. There's also like this panel that can go next to the motherboard that's actually removable, right? You want to put your pump there, or maybe put some additional fans into the case. This lighted panel can come out and you can actually display it outside of your case, which I thought was a kind of a cool feature.
Yeah, so this panel sits in front of your motherboard, where like a cooling side mount will be. And you know, some people want to actually make use of that cooling side mount, but this panel lights up and it's pretty cool. So you don't want to not be able to use it.
You take it out and then you're like,
you can take it out and make it part of your setup. You can display it somewhere. I think that's one really cool thing about the case. Also, towards the bottom of the case, it has this, like, the power supply shroud has this slide open door, or slide open window, if you want to call it a door. When you slide it over, it reveals your power supply, but then on the end of this power supply cover are like little compartments that can hold a little things like USB dongles, the screwdriver, everything. I like that stuff. I know a lot of people don't, but like a lot of old school high-end cases had that, and it's nice to kind of see that there. Also, we didn't mention when talking about large graphics cards, this does have the GPU support built in, right?
Yes, it does have a bracket for that. It also has some great functionality at the front, at the top, you know, by your power. There's, I think, 6 USB ports up there, and 2 of them were like 10 gigabit per second.
No, 20 gig.
20 gig.
Yeah, so there's 2 USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 Type C ports at the top. That's not something you typically see on cases. That's why we're making a big deal about it. One, the Type C's on a lot of cases are USB 3.2 Gen 2, not by 2. And if you happen to get a case that has USB 3.2 Gen 2 by 2, there's only one. Here on this case, you're going to get 2, and like me, I'm super fast storage guy, so it's just nice to have those 2 ports right on the front there as well.
Yeah, and we expect this case to be out pretty soon, but it's not a cheap case. It's going to have an MSRP of right around $500. So you've got to be pretty invested.
Yeah,
in
I think this case definitely has somebody in mind.
Yes.
It is it's an ROG case, so it's a very gamer-esque looking case. Huge builds. Again, like I said, it supports eATX. You can do water cooling. It has all the different extra accessories and just things you don't find on other cases. So like I said, $500, and it's gonna be shipping soon, so definitely stay tuned for that one. The next case that we took a look at is the TUF Gaming GT502, and this is one of those dual compartment cases made to show off your build. So one compartment, of course, is going to house your motherboard and graphics card, and then the smaller opposite compartment is going to be your storage and power supply and things like that. Again, you have tempered glass on the front and tempered glass on the side. So like I said, made to really, kind of show off your build. What did you think about this one, Ryan?
Yeah, it's also has a modular design. There's a lot of modular panels that come off, move around. On that back smaller side section, you kind of built into two sections on this case. The back side actually has room for up to a 360 millimeter radiator, so you can kind of separate out your cooling for your components, right? You could throw an AIO on your CPU and have it exhaust out the top maybe, or have it exhaust out that backside. It's just kind of a way to separate the cooling to maximize cooling performance on this case. Like you said, it's got kind of a panoramic view where you're going to get a nice view into the front and side of the case without a lot of obstruction, from the case frame and things like that. Again, we've got some front-mounted USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C ports that can support up to 10 gig data transfers there. Not the super fast like we saw on the Hyperion, but still fast storage up at the front, so you can move data quickly on external drives. There's also nice and functional like strap handles on the top of it. That's one thing that the Tough series always seems like it has functionality to it, right? It's not just tough because they want to say it is, right? It has these sturdy handles on the top so you can actually lift the case up and move it around with a full build in there. There's going to be a couple color options as well. It's going to be available in a black and a white version.
It would have been interesting to see the white. We saw the black, but it would have been really interesting.
The design of the black has me really curious about what the white looks like, because it's a very tough looking design, so I'm wondering what the white's going to be like. It's actually starting to ship this week though, so this case is pretty much ready to go. We're at the end of CES week here, so this case should be honestly probably available by now. The white version is going to have a little bit of a price premium. It's going to be $170, while the black version is $160. Anything else you wanted to add on this case?
One thing that they were showing off in this case was a prototype of their new TUF Gaming AIO. We have seen TUF AIOs in the past. This one fits the TUF aesthetic perfectly to me. I believe this one was a 360. The pump block, it's different. It's not like a big like all the new AIOs now have like a big screen. This sort of had like a tough, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but there was just a couple little LEDs on it, and it fits the aesthetic so well. I was like,
there's no mirrors.
Yeah, there's no
like
mirrors. There's no screens. It just fits the TUF aesthetic really well. We don't know much information on that. I don't even think we had pricing. It was just a prototype right now. But that was one other thing that was shown off in this case that, again, it fit this case perfectly, which I really liked.
While at the ASUS suite here at CES 2023, we actually caught a look at the Noctua edition of the RTX 4080. Now, this is very similar to previous generations of, for example, the 3070 and 3080 that got kind of this collaboration treatment on the video card, where we have a custom, shroud around the video card. We've got Noctua fans on it, so it's got that brown and tan look to it. It's kind of that love it or hate it. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, definitely love it or hate it.
When I first saw the previous generation, I was like, I don't know. Seeing it in person,
it's a big, beefy card.
It's built to cool. NVIDIA and Noctua engineers kind of work together to re-engineer the cooling. Not only just they're not just slapping Noctua fans on this thing and calling it a day, right? They did work on the heat chamber, the vapor chamber, I should say, and the heat fins in order to maximize the cooling performance of this GPU.
Yeah, and it features two of the Noctua NF812 by 25. So these are 25 millimeter fans on the graphics card. And like I said, we haven't seen this in person. We've seen pictures of it. So to pick it up and just be like, this is one beefy card. And again, if you are a Noctua fan, you like the Noctua color, you're going to love this. And it's, again, you can match it, with your CPU cooler and some other stuff, and just have, like, we have already seen Noctua builds with this card. And like I said, it was just cool to pick it up and be like, it's a beefy card and I really like it. So definitely something to look forward to. We didn't see a 4090 in the Noctua, so we're not sure if they're going to do that or not. But it was the 4080. So that's it for ASUS here in this video. Definitely, if you have any questions about the cases, the AIO, or the Noctua graphics card, leave it in the comment section below. We're also going to have a link below where you can check out all of our CES 2023 coverage. Now, if you enjoyed this video, we would appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up, and we'll see you guys in the next video.